Hello, and welcome back to the Backrooms Documentaries. This episode of this series will explain entities 17, 18, and 19 of the Backrooms. These entities can be quite common, but the second one in this episode can be very powerful. Without further ado, enjoy this episode. Entity 17 of the Backrooms, also known as crawlers, have an IETS rating of 4D-. Crawlers are a living fungus that are located in various levels of the Backrooms. They take the form of something called Torbiella pulvinata, which is a fungus underwater that zombifies cellular spiders. The growing process of crawlers is highly aggressive. The infection of the crawler fungus can be spread from level to level, making these entities extremely dangerous. Any small insects and animals that are infected with this fungus should be avoided immediately. Even if a small insect with the fungus bites you, you'll be infected too. Crawlers will infect anyone and anything using a substance, and engulfing that target in said substance. They will then slowly consume the energy and nutrients off of the target. Spores, which is another word for mushrooms, will start to grow in the target's substances like sweat, blood, saliva, and more. The infection will most likely spread through open wounds from scratches and bites from other infected beings, so it's recommended to patch up those wounds to decrease the chances of getting infected. When crawlers infect other animals, they don't progress the infection stage past stage 4. The animals will still be very aggressive and violent towards humans. Speaking of humans, crawlers will get extremely aggressive towards humans and will infect them up to stage 5. Here is a chart that represents the different stages of the crawler infection. You can pause this episode to read it all, but nonetheless, let's move on. Crawlers will change its behavior depending on the stage of infection it is on. They were first discovered in the year of 2009 when MEG base alpha was raided by several crawlers with stage 5 of the infection. The people who were infected were executed, but that didn't cause the infection from spreading. When you encounter what seems to be an infected person, quarantine said infected person, only if suspected. If it is confirmed to be an infected person, it is better to execute them, as we don't want to get infected, don't we? Be very cautious of animals and people, as they could be infected with the crawler disease. Don't touch anyone infected. Don't kill anyone who is infected at melee range, as it could be very risky to not get infected. And don't find a cure, as there isn't one. Entity 17 does seem scary, but this next one is highly intelligent. Entity 18 of the Backrooms, also known as the Beast of Level 5, has an unconfirmed IETS rating, but the best estimate is 3B+. The Beast of Level 5 is only located in, well, Level 5. He takes the appearance of a humanoid figure in a suit and tie, but his head looks like that of a squid's head. He makes himself look friendly, making deals and stuff, but everything is a lie. A letter written by a wanderer states that Entity 18 will keep watching you until your sanity is gone, and of course, it has something to do with this entity. He also states that the walls and portraits are not to be trusted. It doesn't matter how long or short you stay in level 5. He is always watching. He can notice your fear and use your fear to his advantage against you. He wants to be seen. You don't discover him. He discovers you. What you should do is avoid going to level 5 in general, just so you don't be seen by Entity 18. Don't trust him, and don't look at the portraits. This next entity is a microscopic nightmare. Entity 19 of the Backrooms, also known as the Disease, has an IETS rating of 5F. In episode 31, I mentioned that E is the lowest intelligence rating for an entity, but F means that they could mean that they are natural and act like their normal counterparts, meaning that the disease acts like a disease, and skits act like normal anomalocaries. Anyways, the disease is a bacterial entity that was discovered around 100 years ago in level 109 of the Backrooms. Similar to the crawler infection, the disease not only infects humans, but also animals and entities. People can catch the disease from breathing contaminated air or by physical contact with blood that is contaminated with strains of this entity. This entity can be commonly found in damp areas ranging from 75 degrees to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. The disease causes the formation of blood clots that blocks blood vessels, and that's not good. There are 4 stages to the disease, and I'll explain each and every one of them in a short summary. Stage 1 occurs a few hours after the infection. Then, the entity will cause a small inflammation of the area around the open wound. or in other words, making blood clots, making the nearby skin red and causing a dull pain. Stage 2 will do the same, but entity 19 makes even more blood clots due to the bacteria multiplying. Phagocytes, which are the things in your body that will try and destroy the disease, will have a harder time trying to destroy them, as this stage causes entity 19 to spread even more. Stage 3 is where it becomes serious. This is the stage where blood clots obstruct the blood vessels. The infected person won't feel their fingers and feet, and since the blood vessels are dilated so much that they burst, causing the infected person to bleed in various spaces, like the arms, legs, and face. Finally, stage 4 is where it gets brutal. This stage only occurs when the infected person is still standing from their open wounds from stage 3. The infected person's limbs and organs will no longer function due to the lack of blood. This will eventually lead to the infected person's lungs and brain, leading to a stroke that leads to the person's ultimate demise due to blood loss or the destruction of their vital organs. After this brutal stage, Entity 19 becomes free, and the infected person and the surrounding area can be a biohazard. The levels and areas where Entity 19 is most common are rooms in level 1 with high humidity, corridors in level 2 that are over 75 degrees Fahrenheit, rooms in level 3 with high humidity, anywhere in level 3.1, the boiler room in level 5, biohazard rooms in level 109, warm lakes in level 173, and floor 3 in level 571. If you are infected, it is recommended that you get some treatment at level 109 or your nearest MEG base. The disease is incurable once it reaches stage 3, but while it is curable in stages 1 and 2 because the symptoms aren't as bad. If you can't find any help, drink almond water and eat royal rations to boost up your immune system, slowing down the stages of infection, and get some rest so your body can fight the infection. That wraps up the explanation of 3 more entities on this series. I hope you like this series so far, as I have way more episodes planned for everyone. The next episode is a surprise, so stay tuned and have a lovely rest of your day.